Alright, during this video we are going to demonstrate how to create a basic SharePoint 2010 feature using Visual Studio 2010. I've already opened up Visual Studio, so we are just going to go ahead and click on New Project. Select SharePoint from our installed templates. It has already been selected for us here, and Empty SharePoint Project. I'm going to name my project SP Tech Dives Feature and click OK. Visual Studio is going to ask me what local site I want to use for debugging. I've already set up a site in the root of my computer, so I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to select Deploy as a farm solution. Next I'm going to click Finish. Visual Studio proceeds to create the project for me. Notice that it asks a couple of references to the SharePoint assemblies, data and link queue, as well as creating a key file for me. I'm going to right click the Features folder and select Add Feature. SharePoint will create a feature and call it Feature 1 automatically. I don't want it to be called Feature 1, so I'm just going to go ahead and rename that to Change Site Title. Alright. And then over here I'm going to say Change Site Title Feature. This feature changes the title of the site. Okay. I'm going to leave the feature scoped at the web, and I'm going to go ahead and close this window. So next we're going to go ahead and create the feature receiver. We do so by selecting the feature, right-clicking, select Add Event Receiver. Visual Studio is going to do most of the heavy lifting for us. It creates our class with our methods, and it inherits from our SP Feature Receiver object. Let's go ahead and uncomment the feature activated method. And we're going to paste some basic code in there that basically gets a reference to the web object, captures what the original title was, changes the title to SP Tech Dives plus whatever the original title was, updates the web to commit the changes, and then disposes of that object. We're going to write some very similar code on our deactivating method just to set the title back to what it originally was. Web title equals, and then we're going to reference the property where we saved the original one, which is web. Okay. Commit the changes. Okay. And then we're going to build to make sure that it compiles. Hopefully we won't have any errors. And no, we don't. Now we can go ahead and proceed to debugging. So we're going to select Debug from the Debug menu and start debugging. Visual Studio is going to deploy our solution to SharePoint and recycle the IIS pools. And it's also going to kick off Internet Explorer as soon as it's done with that, much like it does when we are debugging an ASP.NET app that we've developed with Visual Studio. Once the website loads, you'll notice that the title already says SP Tech Dives Enterprise Wiki. That's because the feature has already been activated. Visual Studio has done that as part of our deployment process. I'm going to go ahead and click Site Actions, Site Settings, Manage Site Features, and you'll see that the feature has already been activated, hence our SP Tech Dives title. Now we want to go ahead and step through the code here. So what I'm going to do is go back to Visual Studio and put a breakpoint in our deactivating event. Now that's just a warning because the assemblies haven't been loaded in the background. As soon as we go back to Internet Explorer and click on the deactivate button, they should load just fine. going to go ahead and click deactivate and deactivate this feature, which should kick us right back into Visual Studio. Now we can go ahead and step through our code. And our title has changed back to Enterprise Wiki. So that's pretty much it. That is our simple feature in Visual Studio 2010. Hope you enjoyed it.